Let's switch to running backs, which is a very interesting position, and it's become even more critical because the news we got to talk about, Trey Sermon entering the transfer portal on Saturday. We're recording this on a Monday, and
Right.
Oklahoma's running back depth takes a hit. That's your second best running back to some. That's your best running back to others. But also just kind of all brings it back to Jason McClellan not being a part of this class. It's not to say that Seth McGowan is not good. It's just to say that there are not two Seth McGowans, right? There's only one of those guys
Right.
in this class. So TreVeyon Henderson and who am I forgetting?
You talking about? Oh,
Running
Camar
backs.
Wheaton.
To Kamar
Yeah,
Wheaton.
Camar
Kamar
Wheaton,
Wheaton. Thank you.
L.J. Johnson,
Right.
Evan Pryor. Yep.
Right. So, well, Pryor, I thought was going to announce pretty soon here. So that'll be
Yeah, he
interesting.
is.
Okay. But I feel like we would have a sense of if he was going to Oklahoma. I think we would.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So let's talk about TreVeyon Henderson and Camar Wheaton because, on the one hand, you'd love to have one or both of them, or one of them, but you'd love to have both of them as well. And knowing that you have that spot that you didn't get filled in last year's class, I don't think anybody's going to end up with both of these guys. I think they're going to go where they think they're going to be the feature tailback in that class. But what's your sense on what Camar Wheaton or TreVeyon Henderson might be thinking? I'm going to add in here that I talked to TreVeyon last Sunday about his schedule, and he wanted to hedge, knowing that he likes Oklahoma, but he also likes Ohio State. And then Steve Wiltfong put in a crystal ball for Ohio State not too long ago. So what's your sense?
Oh, for TreVeyon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Oklahoma has a really good shot with TreVeyon. I actually talked to somebody, Brian Doan, actually, who had just spoken with him a
247
couple.
Sports Analyst, for
Yeah,
those
two
of you
four.
that don't know.
Yeah, out on the East Coast. And we talked at length about TreVeyon. So the deal with TreVeyon is that Oklahoma's in a really good spot. He thinks it's Oklahoma, Ohio State right now.
Right.
And, and the problem is that Clemson offered as Clemson was the far and away favorite to start out, but they offered as a defensive back. Now Clemson's coming back and offering as a running back.
Right.
And that's going to be a problem for Oklahoma and Ohio State in the long run, I think. That could be an issue. Now, obviously, TreVeyon's got to get out to Oklahoma. Got to take that. I think L.J. Johnson and Camar Wheaton are better, not better players, but you have a better chance, I think, with
Right.
those two because of it's just logistics make that a better option. Now, obviously, Camar Wheaton, LSU's an issue with Camar Wheaton, but Oklahoma sits in a really good spot. You're also talking about a kid from the DFW area that grew up watching and idolizing one DeMarco Murray. So that visit this past week, past 10 days
Last
to
Monday. No, it was
Oklahoma.
last Monday. You're right. It's a
Okay,
week.
last week.
Last
Okay,
Monday.
yeah, right before they shut everything down.
Right.
So that visit to Oklahoma, I think, is a very, very, very big deal for Oklahoma going because they're the last thing he's going to be able to see for a long time, and you have to think that that's going to resonate pretty well in his mind. That hey, you know what? It's not that easy for me to get out to LSU because it's a 5 or 6 hour drive. It's a 2 hour drive, 2 hours 15, 2 hour 20-minute drive from my home in Fort Worth to Oklahoma. So things there's a difference there when it comes to logistics. Now, obviously, with L.J. Johnson, Oklahoma's in really well with him. He's made a couple of trips up. What has he? No. L.J.'s. I think he's taken an official. He's made one unofficial visit. Unofficial visit up to Oklahoma, and he's planned on making an official visit. I don't know the exact date just yet, but that's in the cards for him. He loves Oklahoma. The fact that I remember when they hired DeMarco Murray, he DM'd me just out of the blue, and he said, "This is huge." Like that was a big deal to him because he wanted to know before he went up and wasted his time or with Oklahoma, what is he going to do? Like, who's going to be? He asked me who I thought was going to be the coach, and I was like, well, I hear DeMarco Murray. He said if they got DeMarco Murray, that would be massive for him. And then he DM'd me out of the blue and said, this is huge. So this is the DeMarco Murray aspect, I think, is going to play out in the long run. It's going to be a big deal. Short term, he's going to have to put in some work because he's kind of behind the 8 ball with the relationship part, because that's the biggest part of recruiting. You can be the superstar, the biggest superstar in the world, but if you don't have the relationship with the kids, it's hard to win them over no matter who you are. So he's doing the work, putting in the work. He's a young, energetic guy. Everything that I've heard has been nothing but positives coming from what he's done recruiting so far. So, and the same goes with Jamar Cain, the new defensive end and outside linebackers coach. I mean, everybody said he's just hit the ball running and been just an animal on the recruiting trail since he got to Oklahoma. So I think both of those guys are going to be they're exactly what Lincoln wanted. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted more young recruiting. He got it. And now the results got to happen now. Now we got to see results.
I'm interested to see what's going on with Kendal Daniels' recruitment, because like I've been reaching out to him off and on and just trying to chat him up, and you'll know that he's not necessarily a real chatty kiddo, but
no, not at all.
I mean it's
he's hit or miss, man.
Right. And you know, when he wants to chat, he wants to chat. But him getting an offer from LSU, I think, really changes the game for Oklahoma, because many of us have Oklahoma in the lead, but then when LSU is offering, and you're the best defensive back in the state far and away in the 2021
class. But
he's
going to be a linebacker. He's going to be a linebacker in college.
Well, and that's part of it, right? So for me, I think he's a Grant Delpit type of guy in that he can play linebacker. He can also play strong safety, and if you need him to line up on the outside and cover outside the numbers, he can do that as well. Now, all of that to say, I mean, that's kind of how I saw Marcel Brooks at one point, and he's going to play some outside linebacker and edge rush and kind of grow up in there. Caleb Von Chase. And so there's a lot of things you can do with a guy like Kendal Daniels if he puts on weight. But right now, it's a guy you can't let lead the state, man. Between him and Ethan Downs, you got to lock them both up.
Right. I don't think right now I'd be hard pressed for me to see him go anywhere but OU. Grew up an OU fan. He's been to Norman, I mean, a lot. His mom likes Oklahoma.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot.
His family is very big in Oklahoma. Yes,
all
over.
Very much. I mean, and he grew up around the staff around Beggs. I mean, is very pro OU. So I mean, they're pro Oklahoma State as well. They're just pro the state of Oklahoma in general. This is a really. It's going to be hard pressed for me to see him leave Oklahoma for LSU or anywhere else. Now, like you said, that was a big offer, and he did make a big deal about it. But he's also been really, really kind of upfront of, hey, you know, I'm taking my time. I'm going to do this and that. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that when you say, quote, quote, take your time, he's going to show up to Norman one day. And this is just my guess. I'm guessing. And just kind of out of the blue, you're going to see eyeballs, and it's going to be, you know, Kendal Daniels is committed to Oklahoma, which would be huge because he's made such a dramatic jump in the 247 rankings to where I think he's like number 101 or something like that, 102, 103 in overall rankings as far as where we have him. He's a special athlete, a really good basketball player too, like a fantastic basketball player. And there's another guy out there that kind of is in the same category as him that is moving up quickly. Hasn't really made that jump because you got to see what he's going to do in the spring, and that's Jordan Mukes from Choctaw. You look at his frame, you look at who he is and how he is athletically, just the rawness of it all. He could be really special once he gets all the fundamentals down to football. He's just a basketball player playing football right now. But if you flipped it around, he could be something really special on the gridiron, and that's kind of you see the offers coming in that way. And if Oklahoma offered it, it would be a wrap. And I think that would be huge. If you could get Jordan Mukes, Ethan Downs, I think Colin Oliver is going to eventually get an offer. I think if you got Kendal Daniels, I'm trying to think who the other 2021 guys I'm not missing off the top of my head that have offers from Oklahoma.
You just reminded me. I got to correct myself from something I said very early in the podcast. Colin Oliver is the guy who had his visit called off last week, not Colin Clay. Colin Clay is defensive tackle at Oklahoma State. That's my bad. I got these guys on the brain. And, you know, I called Colin Kennedy before I called you today. So that's how bad I am with Colin today, but I need to address that. Other 2020 guys with offers at defensive back?
2021, just overall. 2021. Okay, preps. I'm trying to think here.
Well, I mean, AJ Green jumps out, but he wants to play running back.
Yeah, he wants to play running.
Right.
I think he's leaning away from that now because I think everybody's offering him as defensive back, and
Right.
that little bubble's getting kind of bursted a little bit.
I hate it for him. I
I
do.
do too. I do too. But I mean, come on, you have that type of speed. You can move
Yeah.
your hip. I mean,
Yeah.
this sounds really cheap. When you're talking about a teenager, when you can say they can move their hips really well and stuff like that, he can. Man, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous. He's a defensive back. If he,
I prefer to say he can drop his hips and go. That's what
there
I.
you
That's
go.
what I
Well,
usually say.
that still sounds really weird.
Uh,
All right, none of
fine.
this.
Fine. Have it your way.
We're going down a whole path that doesn't need to be
Oh
going down.
my
With
goodness.
teenagers and
No,
hips
but
and
like
stopping
it's
and
also
going.
you also bring up a good point though, because when we're talking about 2021 kids at the DB group, like I immediately just leave it and go straight to 2022 and go to Gentry Williams and Maurice Horn.
Oh my goodness!
So like that tells you
Yes.
that tells you what the DB recruiting is like right now in the state of Oklahoma. But I'm also the guy that was yelling about how does Alex Grinch not offer Jordan Reagan? How does Jordan Reagan end up at Oklahoma State without an offer from OU? Like
I love Jordan Reagan.
I know
I'm
6'2", 185 in high school. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm on the fence on him as far. I don't know what the whole thing is about that and not getting an offer. I mean, I kind of do, but I'm not really wanting to delve into that. Just for obvious reasons. But it was a weird deal. Oklahoma, they had their eye on him for a while. I think they just went in a different direction, which is fine because what they got as far as defensive backs in 2020. If anybody says they didn't land a star-studded defensive back group in 2020,
No, it's not. It's not. It's not that. It's not that. Right?
They got a ridiculous class.
No, it's just it's state pride, right?
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And it's also we agree on this. We agree on this.
Right.
When your class has an Oklahoma backbone and they all go to Oklahoma, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah, they usually do turn out pretty well.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. But
look, there's a kid up there. Look, 2022, Chris McClellan out of your stomping ground.
That's right. That's right.
He's got a chance to be special, starting to really pick up steam on the. I mean, I think Oklahoma is going to eventually go after him. Look, the 2021, 2022 class. Look, 2022 has arguably the best tight end or one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends in the nation out of Mustang, Oklahoma, and Andre Dollar. And I have him in there knowing that I coach his little brother in Little League football, and our Little League team's really, really good. And his brother's Landry's a really, really good player. So they moved from Naples, Florida, and he became the DC. Sam Dollar, Coach Dollar, became the DC at Mustang, and they joined our team kind of later on in the process. But and I was the one that found him, which was kind of funny. I walked over and I was like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Oh, my name's Andre Dollar." I will never forget. Like, I'm coaching, and I look over, and this 6'5", 225-pound kid's just standing there. And I was like, "Who is that?" And they're like, Coach Cliff Prestage, who was one of the coaches at Mustang back in the day, now coaches the Little League team with us, and he's also a high school coach and offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. He was at Southmore last year. And he goes, "Man, that's an Andre Dollar. He just moved in from Naples, Florida." I walked over and talked to him, took a photo. We put it up on 247, and within 2 months, the dude has 18 offers, and from everybody. And Oklahoma's really, really paying attention to him right now. So I think once he's taken a couple of visits to OU, he's a really good. He didn't get the ball thrown to him a whole lot, so his film's kind of you don't really see a whole lot. But what you do see is a kid running by everybody when he does catch it. So 6'5", 225, and you can move and catch the way he does.
So,
you can create something, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where that's at.